When you ask who created God or how it's possible to exist eternally without starting, logical, you assume that everything must have a beginning. When we ask who created the universe, you cannot simply answer, I don't know, because there are only two logical options. Either the universe was created or it has always existed. One of these must be true. If it was created, then it requires a source that existed before it eternally, because from absolute nothing, only nothing can ever result. If it has always existed, then we must accept the idea that something can exist eternally without a start. This makes entirely logical to believe that God has no beginning and exists eternally. The universe is working by a physics law. Then, why we put the God concept here? The universe is working by a physics law and it has a starting point. It basically comes from quantum fluctuation in a vacuum. However, the quantum vacuum is not totally nothing. It has energy and laws of physics built in. So, who put the energy and laws of the physics built in the quantum vacuum? We know the quantum vacuum and fluctuation are just a part of the universe function of how fluctuation should work. It's following another applied law on how to fluctuate in a quantum vacuum. So, when you keep chiming in with the same question of where did the law come from that they are following, why can't God be part of the universe? Because being part of the same function means the function itself created the law. Law is by definition how to govern. When you ask things, they become something with a law. You will end up with the paradox. The function created the law, then the law created the function. So who created whom? The quantum vacuum is defined within the framework of the laws of physics, quantum field theory, relativity, etc. Without the laws, we can't even describe what a vacuum means. It wouldn't exist as a concept. This suggests that the law comes first and the quantum vacuum is the manifestation of them. For example, the uncertainty principle allows energy fluctuation in the vacuum. The quantum fields themselves governed by the equation of physics. The vacuum depends on the laws, not the other way around. Now you may say the law of how to govern is just existing eternally. But this raises another paradox. If the law existed eternally and there was no time, then what made the law stop being what it was before? Before creating the function, the law was eternally in a state of not creating. So what caused the law to suddenly be created? If there is no time, then the law cannot know when to start. And if you imagine the law knows when to create, it does not make any sense. It must need another law to give that order when to start. Then that new law would also need another law above it, and so on, leading to an infinite chain. Or if you think the same law, how to govern and when to govern, instead of as an eternal conscious that creates by command, he is not only the source of operating rules, but also how things actually come to exist. This is what we call God, or an eternal conscious source that exists outside of the cosmos to govern how and why it should come to exist. He is the only one, has never been created, and is uncaused, nor did he create himself. He exists eternally and unchanged. All things depend on him, while he depends on nothing.